Lesson 13 shows us how to use ratio tables to create equations. The objective is that you're able to restate a ratio in terms of its value because we have to use value to create the equation. So the example is if you're given the ratio 3 to 5, saying beads to string, you can make the statement that the amount of beads is 3/5 of the amount of string. You could also say the amount of string is 5/3 of the amount of beads, and the amount of beads is 3/8 of the total amount of items. We know the value because whatever the first word is that we're wanting to find the what it equals, that's going to be the numerator. That's going to be the one that you have to find the value of. So for beads, 3 was here, and then our denominator is whatever we are comparing it to, which is string. So that's where the 5 came from, making it 3/5. Down here, we started with string, and 5 was the part of the ratio for string, therefore that's the numerator, and we are comparing it to the beads, so that's the denominator, so that's why string is 5/3 of the amount of beads. And then down here, we are talking about beads, which is 3, and compared to the total amount of items, and since our ratio was 3 to 5, the total was 8. If you wanted to see how this would look as an equation, you would have your beads equals 3/5 your amount of string. So that would be your equation. You would take whatever value for the string, plug it in, multiply it by 3/5, and then you'd find your answer for beads. Down here, the equation is string is, which means equals, 5/3 beads. And lastly, it says the amount of beads is, which is my equals, 3/8 the total. So that's what your equations look like. These are the statements. The last objective is that you're able to use the value of a ratio to problem solve by writing and solving equations. Your vocabulary word is equation, and an equation is a number sentence stating two things are equal. When you're working with ratios, the formula to create equations, you're going to take side A equals the value of A times side B. Or if you're wanting to write an equation for side B, you say side B equals value of side B times side A. Below, I gave you a couple examples. You have the ratio 3 to 4, cups of flour to cups of sugar. 3 to 4, then 6 to 8, 9 to 12, 12 to 16, 15 to 20. I counted by 3s on this side, 4s on this side, starting with the most simplified ratio that I could have given the ratio 3 to 4. Using the formula here, side A, which is cups of flour, so I wrote that, cups of flour equals the value of A. I'm sorry, I read that wrong. This is cups of sugar. So I said cups of sugar, which is actually side B. So I have cups of sugar equals value of side B. My value of sugar would be the 4/3 because you take the one you're finding the value to make the numerator. And then it's multiplied by cups of flour. If you look below, I'm going to test this out. So I have my 4/3. And I'm going to say I'm looking at this ratio where there are 6 cups of flour. So I took 4/3 times 6 over 1, because remember, whole numbers are always over 1. I got 24/3. 24 divided by 3 gives me 8, which is the other part of my ratio. So this equation is correct. Down here, I did the side A, which is my cups of flour, equals 3/4, because the value of flour would be 3/4. Times my cups of sugar. So I'm going to start with the first ratio, and there are 4 cups of sugar for the first one, and if this equation is correct, I should get 3. So I took 3/4, the value, times 4, which is the number for the cups of sugar. 3 times 4 is 12, 4 times 1 is 4, that's 12 divided by 4, which means there were 3 cups of flour, which is the correct ratio.